Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and do you guys like video games? That's a pretty general question I want to ask you. Me, I love video games, and in fact, throughout my time on YouTube and just living life, I played plenty of video games, okay? And lately, I found myself playing a lot of older video games, but, that's just me playing a video game that I know is going to be like 20, 25 hours long, versus committing to something that's probably going to have me do like 25 hours of actual gameplay and like 50 hours of open world survival nonsense. But anyways, beyond all of this, one thing that kind of wilds me out is artificial intelligence. Like every other couple months, you probably notice something insane, right? Like it's making better videos, it's making better music. What if I told you apparently there's AI game engines, okay? So one of the things that I saw coming out from the boys over at Google Research, Tel Aviv University, and Google's DeepMind. Apparently, there is a diffusion model that is used to make real-time video game engines, ladies and gentlemen. So I decided, whoa, I kind of want to see what this stuff looks like. I kind of want to see, what is a video game engine in this regard. Now, this is called GameNGen. Okay, there we go. You got the play on words there, right? These are real-time recordings of people playing the game Doom, simulated entirely by a neural model. So I was like, all right, let's go check this shit out here. Then I got about 1 minute and 23 seconds of footage. You don't really need to watch much of it other than if you're watching this footage, you can see things like barrels and objects weirded out. You can see things like fireballs flying at you. But you might be like, whoa, where's the enemy in this case? Well, the actual, diffusion model here, the actual, AI, is generating them literally 2 feet away from you, okay? Now, by far, I've seen Doom played on plenty of expensive systems, plenty of cheap systems, but this by far is the most goofiest of them. The amount of computational power required to play Doom in an AI-generated engine is insane. But of course, you can see that, yeah, for the most part, it looks like Doom. There's like weird dot and artifacts that are happening, but this is like generated game footage. So maybe like, whoa, what the fuck is an AI-generated engine? Well, apparently it enables real-time interaction with a complex environment over long trajectories at high quality. So GameNGen can interactively simulate the classic Doom at over 20 frames per second on a single TPU, okay? So again, they've optimized it, blah yada yada. But yeah, there it is. Next frame prediction achieves a PSNR of 29.4, comparable to lossy JPEG compressions. Human raters are only slightly better than random chance at distinguishing short clips of the game from clips of the simulation. So effectively what has happened over here is they have collected so much, visual information from Doom, like visual information from actual play, that now they're able to generate like gameplay clips and I guess interactive gameplay with Doom. So one of the gameplay videos right over here, you see them drive around. You can see like the barrels are like kind of like, they've got these like weird artifacts. So if you look quickly, it'll like start to smear. Like right there, it's smearing on you. But yeah, it's generating what it believes to be Doom clips right here. So as it's shooting the barrel, it blows up after like 5 or 6 shots. You can see like corpses are shifting around. Doors are kind of like everything over here looks like it's being properly like generated. Like items are disappearing in and out of frame. It is, again, a stable diffusion model putting together what it believes to be gameplay of Doom. So again, as they open the door and they walk around, the actual room is empty, and whoa, all of a sudden, Space Marine jumps in. Now you might be like, okay, Muta, what is the chief difference between playing a game through an AI generating game engine or just, I don't know, purchasing it and playing this first exact level, which by the way, layout wise is so far the exact same? Well, there really isn't any benefit to it. Now, Doom is effectively like a game engine's like Hello World ported to basically any device. For anybody that like wanted to know just how wild Doom porting is, this is literally Doom running on the display of an actual pregnancy test, okay? So before you find out if you're preggers or not, you can in fact play the first level of Doom within this pregnancy test. So this is the exact same location we just saw. This is not AI generated. This is just the actual game running underneath a pregnancy test. And again, this is a feat of engineering to basically run a game in like the smallest, the lowest processing way that you can. Now, when I say it's the most computationally expensive version of Doom, I'm not joking. Compared to the pregnancy test, which obviously isn't even comparable to the fact that this runs on a single TPU. Now, this already doesn't really give the best description. I mean, this is a pretty wide margin, so I decided to look into their actual paper. And of course, inside their paper, they actually do describe the kind of system that they're using. So what they said over here is their hardware configuration, which is a TPU v5, a single step in an evaluation of an encoder takes 10 milliseconds. If they ran their model with a single denoiser, the minimum total latency possible in our setup would be like 20 frames per second, or sorry, 20 ms per frame or 50 frames a second. So again, to go over just how much this TPU5 costs, a quick comparison of it will be something around a I guess you could say the best comparison to the TPU V5 would be like the NVIDIA H100. And based on this one actual, source from Barron's where they were talking with, Meta, they actually said somewhere around here that a GPU, the H100, costs around $25,000 per GPU. So not only is it incredibly computationally expensive, but it's incredibly expensive compared to the pregnancy test that you could pick up from a fucking Rite Aid. Now, if you want to look at a way to play Doom in a very expensive fashion, this is Doom 2 running through path tracing in this case underneath my actual gaming computer. Now, this is pretty expensive to play. Obviously, I'm kind of putting my graphics card through a little bit of the ringer over here, but if you were going to spend a lot of money to play Doom in what some would consider to be the best way possible, this might be it. Like, this is a real night and day looking remaster version of Doom, all done entirely through path tracing and a lot of community effort. But compared to the schizophrenic version of Doom where shit just pops in through AIs like guesswork, I would personally consider this version. And this is where I think a serious question needed to be asked. Now, this is where, again, I have to ask the question, has anybody sat down and wondered, what is the point? So what they've said over here in this Medium article is GameNGen looks just amazing given the output video. Did we watch the same video? It's the same level of Doom except shit has just spawned in front of you. Really? And the gaming industry is up for a revolution. Can be taken as a ChatGPT moment of the gaming industry. If this scales up well to other games, even gaming engines and game dev software may become obsolete. Okay, so, all right, now, to give you an idea about it, ladies and gentlemen, this article is from, September 3rd, 2024. And to show you the massive advancements that have gone on before we actually go into it, you can see a discussion of, actual, Doom lovers from Doom World talking about this. Yeah, this is dog shit on multiple levels. Just Google doing shitty Google things. While it's somewhat interesting in a what would happen if we tried sense, it irks me how much this paper props it up more than it is. I also question whether the human raters were also slightly better than random chance at distinguishing short clips of the game from clips of the simulation. Have ever even played Doom or any video game, really? Which is a true point, by the way, right? As somebody that, I'm not going to say that I'm the most, Doom-heavy player in the world. I play Doom. I play some of the old WODs, even some of the WODs that are a little controversial. I've played Doom on my channel. I know Doom. And I can very much say that a good majority of the people watching have probably also played Doom. So I'm wondering, who you brought that could identify, that had a hard time identifying actual footage versus your AI. Because if you brought somebody like my dad, for instance, he probably wouldn't know. He'd be like, what the fuck is Doom? I don't even know the actual gameplay versus simulation. I just figured out what Doom is. So yeah, I really want to see what human beings they brought along for it. But the reason why, I talked about the date of this is that this isn't exactly even the focus. See, a couple days ago, I saw something called GameGen-O. Now, this channel has 54 subscribers, and 2 days ago, they uploaded open world video game generation. Now, I'm not joking with you. This is a little bit insane, okay? So, to show you guys some of the footage over here, you can see that they are generating open worlds that you can apparently interact with, and the actual science behind this is a little bit disgusting, okay? So this is GameGen-O, the first diffusion transformer model tailored for the generation of open world video games. You know, the last thing I wanted in my open world game was some care and attention. I'm glad that AI is here to take every single aspect of human intervention completely away. So what did they do here? So if you look inside their overview, they went to the internet, as many AI engineers do, and they downloaded a shit ton of game recordings, okay? Meaning that what had happened over here was somebody who wanted to go up and see, long play Cyberpunk 2077. And they find somebody who uploaded this 22-hour, 27-minute long video that contains the game. In fact, they probably downloaded like all of these possible. There's just so many actual videos. And with all this training data, and this isn't just the only game, they also downloaded games like Red Dead Redemption 2, games like, Assassin's Creed. In fact, they'll even tell you 32,000 videos from 132 next-gen open-world games. So then, they filter out the non-playable content, so things like cutscenes, things that, aren't gameplay. And then they've got 1 million video clips containing a certain scene, right? And as they, filter out clips based on view changes, movement direction, semantic quantification, aesthetic quantification, then they are now able to generate actual, gameplay videos. So yeah, if you thought that they were actually going out of their way to get this AI to generate new worlds based on something, sentient, no, it's not. It's just regurgitated stuff based on the most popular next-gen games like Grand Theft Auto 5, next-gen, various Assassin's Creed games, The Witcher 3, and Cyberpunk 2077. So I'm going to show you guys a couple clips of how great the generations are from this engine, okay? So while it might be hard to watch some of these videos, Geralt of Rivia. Yeah, I wonder how much of The Witcher they use. Now, if you look at some of these videos, they're only like 2 seconds long. And I think a lot of that has to do with how much continuity this AI can have. Like if they showed you 20 seconds of this footage, it might actually devolve into completely unrecognizable footage. And it's much like any other AI we see, like these Luma AIs, where they only show you like these 4 or 5 second extensions, because that's really the limitation of how much their AI is going to generate before it goes completely insane. Of course, you can see Arthur Morgan. Yeah, I wonder how much Red Dead training footage they used to build it. I mean, it's at a point where you can actually fucking identify the trees from the actual gameplay straight up. The clouds, everything. Like, it is literally just regurgitating the footage. Eivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This is most definitely the introduction of the game that even the people who were like building this, it did not go past. They didn't even go to like London. They just strayed directly in the intro of the game. So, of course, Jin Sakai from, like, Ghost of Tsushima. And what's wild is this security guard, okay? Like, they don't even have shadows rendering underneath it. It's just a security guard walking through this AI slop-generated, like, room. My favorite one is RoboCop. That's not even like a RoboCop. It literally is just like a robot with a robot shit stuck up its ass, walking through some generic cyberpunk slop location. Now, of course, when they're talking about action generation, which is what I'm really interested in and what I wanted to really talk about, because, for a lot of people that sit there and say, but Muda, this is just the beginning of something. When I talk about regurgitation with artificial intelligence, again, these are very clever, AI models that just regurgitate the information fed into them. So taking the games we have already made, seeing recuts of them underneath these engines is one thing that literally is only impressive to people who never actually video game. Just like tech bros and people that are like futurologists that don't really understand or care about the actual, meat behind some of these very popular video games. So for instance, this driving shot is insane. I'll let you guys have a guess on what the training data for the driving was, okay? If your answer is Cyberpunk 2077, congratulations. Now, obviously, it's generating what it believes to be driving from a video game. So, we're at a point where streetlights are being generated without any fucking logic whatsoever. Occasionally you might notice some, line demarcations on the road. And traffic, they're probably recording the PS4 version of Cyberpunk because it's dead as hell. Anyways, though, speaking of it, ladies and gentlemen, this is effectively what the regurgitation of this AI is. Oh, sailing? Boy, I wonder, there's like an Assassin's Creed game, something about Something about a flag, it's a certain color. Yeah, it almost feels very distinctly similar to it. Oh, a carriage. Whoa. Honest to God, if it wasn't for the fact that the carriages don't actually move and the wheels are all fucked up, I would think that this is just straight up footage that they have shared from Red Dead Redemption 2. I wonder what Rockstar would think about a game engine that effectively just recreates gameplay clips from one of its most popular titles. Now, this is where the AI is tasked to do something a little cool, and it's, again, just slop. So, open domain generation, cybermonk roaming in Chinatown. Now, I understand the whole cybermonk principle here, but this is your version of Chinatown. Clearly, you've probably shared too much Destiny 2 footage, and you're trying to think this is Chinatown, when it clearly is not. I love this one. Traveler with a cloak walking on Mars. So I assume Mars is the reason why it's red. I have no idea what's up with the crazy planet in front of it. But yeah, this is, again, the AI just generating what it thinks is Mars, based on, 36,000 videos that have been grabbed and regurgitated into this, diffusion model. But yeah, what they talk about with operation signals here is, moving left. You basically, you can see the camera moving around a little bit. And again, these clips are only 2 seconds long, because I imagine it's going to look terrible if it goes on longer than it really needs to, because what it's generating isn't going to make any sense. In some cases, even now, it doesn't make much sense. I love this one too. You can pretty much identify Grand Theft Auto 5 based on the footage it's generating here. Now, what's really weird about it too is this is designed by tech bros to make something look really cool, because at the end of the day, nothing in this engine is generated in real time. You can't actually move the character around with a controller. You just basically get to generate videos like you already do. Now, honestly, on a good faith basis, if you really wanted to make AI somewhat usable in video games, it might make sense to save developers and artists some time to basically say, hey, generate me this city or this city block or this building. And then an artist can go in and fine tune things, because they can basically avoid a lot of the work of doing the grunt and generating a building as it is. If it already generates you a texture or a Blender project or something of that nature, then you can modify it around and save yourself some time, depending on how good these kind of AIs can really be. Imagine if waiting for GTA 7 wouldn't be that big of a deal, because Rockstar could generate some of these cities using artificial intelligence, and the artist could jump in and basically fine-tune things, saving them some time, saving them some crunch. In that way, I think this might be cool. It'd be awesome if this kind of technology was used not to generate videos, but to generate things like maybe assets, or allow developers and publishers to have more time to focus on the gameplay aspects of a title, or to focus on things like the quest lines, if you're making open world games, right? You want to make open world quests more fun. You want to have more time to dedicate to things that you really want people to see, versus sitting around and painstakingly creating insane 4K or even 8K assets, or, working on, crazy city blocks, when you could save or scrunch down some of that, work that you're constantly repetitively doing. It'd be awesome if AI helped with cutting down the repetitive tasks so that people would be crunched less, these games would be made faster, and probably would cost a lot, less to produce. But that's not where these AI tech bros want to go. They just want to make stupid AI engine slops so they can then sell to Google or OpenAI or some of these big companies. They can just amass them into their projects. Now, it'd be one thing if this was more for developers to cut down on that time, but it doesn't even seem like that's what it is. It's just literally there to regurgitate already existing games and generate gameplay clips from them with, at least some level of interactability. But again, given that they're only showing 2-3 second clips, I just wonder how the AI will handle things like continuity going forward. It just, at the moment, and going into the near future, and even the future, seems like just an insanely expensive way to shard out whatever gameplay footage you might need that resembles one of the big AAA games that exist. It's not as if this is cutting down on the resource. It'd be one thing if this was building, Vice City as a asset that you could then ingest into another game engine. Then we could say we got GTA 6 before GTA 6. But here we've got some AI interpretation of what GTA 6 could look like, just built off of gameplay footage that it probably got from GTA 5. Which, if that's what AI tech bros are looking for, then yeah, I guess you got what you wanted for. Yay, I guess. This is the problem with like the gaming industry and a lot of these like AI guys coming into it because there doesn't really seem to be any good answer to any of this. You know, a lot of these Doom engines are being created with AI, I guess, like Google is doing, or in this case, GameGen-O, and nobody has ever just sat down and asked the question in their field and wondered, what is the actual logical reasoning of doing this? What is the actual real application of developing this software in the way that it is, and how is it actually going to help gaming out there? It's not like these people are creating software or AIs that are generating open worlds, right? People were saying like, man, we're going to get GTA 6 before GTA 6 actually drops. No, you're going to get videos of what AI considers GTA 6 to be. And sure, this might get really good at creating regurgitated versions of like open worlds based off the design of whatever it feeds it, but it's never really going to be at a point where it's going to generate you like an open world or like a game that you can actually play and really get into. And that's one of the things with like this, if this is supposed to be the most popular thing about open world, and this is where, you know, gaming industries and like publishers, like I could imagine some like middle managing like suit, like some production MBA at like these big game companies looking at software like this and thinking, whoa, open worlds that we can generate for a quarter of the price and they're like 10 times bigger than what we're able to do. Hell yeah, slop that shit in and let's go down that road. Well, it's going to make gaming even like just more of a chore than it is. Like a lot of these open world games are already chores, but looking at something that has even more of that human element removed, even though that's some of the most open world games out there kind of feel like they have some AI ML level like generation to its quest design, this is insane. But yeah, I wanted to share it with you because yes, apparently we have AI generating game engines. And you know, in a world where you can play Crysis on a cell phone at this point, I'm not joking with you, this is literally Crysis running on a cell phone, an Android device. It's running at 25 frames per second, okay, 13 frames. It is Crysis 2 after all, a PC version that is being emulated underneath Android. The fact that we're at this stage, but we're still spending resources generating Doom in the most expensive, you know, faculty, shows me how out of touch these AI tech bros are, especially when it comes to one of the best fields of entertainment that I hold near and dear to me, which is video gaming. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, but yeah, I wanted to share it with you because, goddamn, we've got AI Doom before GTA 6. And that's saying something. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I am out.